This is the Kia K4, and this is their latest generation with the updated headlights, redefined interior, and some interesting hardware that we are going to go ahead and cover in today's top 10 features that you can find on the all-new Kia K4. Now, this one in particular happens to be the GT line, which has a $31,000 MSRP price. The one we have here is spec'd out, but the K4 does have a starting price of $28,000, which in today's day and age, you get a lot of car for this price tag that you're gonna go ahead and soon find out what I mean. Let's get started. So let's go ahead and pop the hood and see what's inside. Because the one we have here is the GT line turbo, which means we do have a little more horsepower. And there we go. I kind of like the stick. That could be a cool feature of its own, but it's not what I want to highlight. Benefit with the stick, it will last a lifetime. You don't have to replace anything or anything like that like other ones. But I do like the fact you do have easy access to your 12-volt battery up here. Everything seems to be easy to reach. You even have a traditional oil dipstick. No engine cover, so things are actually easy to access. Well, you do have an engine cover actually, this small thing, but we do have turbo right here because this is the 1.6 liter 4-cylinder, which produces 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. With this allows this vehicle to have an acceleration time of 7.1 seconds, and front-wheel drive is the only drivetrain option available. Radiator fluid's easy to access here. It looks like it's a vehicle that's really easy to reach around and do self-maintenance when you need it. Not a bad car. You even have your windshield wiper fluid located up front over here with that blue cap. Not a bad car. Let's go ahead and close this hood. Now, since we do have the turbo, our average MPG on this car is close to 30 miles per gallon. I've been averaging close to like 31 sometimes on highway, but it is EPA to have a combined MPG of 29, but I've been able to get better because it does have an MPG rating of 26 in city and 36 in highway. And it does use regular fuel, so 87 octane is all that you need to gas and power up this car. Now, I did take the liberty to turn on the headlights because I like to show you the new signature design for Kia lately. It's these amber bright DRL headlights, which dim down as soon as your headlights do turn on, because your headlights are actually located right here, giving you that cool futuristic vibe. And then in the rear, things get more exciting because it does feature a somewhat design of a light bar, as you see right here. It has like this Tron-inspired look, and then blinks out here and then continues on to the other side. Very futuristic, amazing. And your reverse light, it's actually located on the bottom right here. And your third brake light's located right above here. If I turn on the hazards, basically this will be where your turn signals will be located on this side, which also continues having a unique design. And then if we look in the side view mirrors also feature a turn signal. And in the front, the amber lights just get brighter. And then if you do have the 360 camera, there is a 360 camera located up here and another camera located on the mirror, and then one in the back. Now, this Kia does feature advanced autopilot features, which I'll highlight more in a little bit. But if we move to the top, you'll notice you do have a sunroof up here, which is this giant piece of glass that slides open. But in actuality, the size of your sunroof is a normal size one, which I'll show you in a bit how it opens and stuff. But I think it's kind of cool that this massive glass piece is what moves. So it definitely does allow this car to have a unique design as well. Smart door handles on both driver and passenger side only, because in the rear, your door handle is actually located right here. I thought was kind of unique. And if you're planning on using this for daily purposes, in case you do park over a parking block, you do have slightly over 6 inches of ground clearance in the front, which is what you need to park over those parking blocks without taking your bumper apart. Usually 6.5 inches is the average clearance for those. This barely clears that, so there's no concern there. But if we go into the back, you'll probably see that reverse parking is still your best friend, as it does have like a nice raise in the back. Now, it is a tucked underneath muffler setup vehicle, as you see right here, which is kind of interesting because it is a dual instead of a single pipe exhaust tip. But moving into the back, if you have the key fob on your person and you just hang out in the back, the vehicle does have this smart trunk ability where you don't have to press this button to open up the hatch. It will automatically pop open if it detects your keys in your back pocket. Let me demonstrate that. So let's say I have my hand full. I can't open up the trunk. You see how the back lights are blinking right now? It automatically opens like so. and just do that, and you have access to your trunk. It's a setting you can enable inside the car. So if you'd like to disable that or enable it, you could totally adjust that. I have it enabled and it works perfectly fine. But now since we're in the back here, you do have a large opening compartment area to load stuff in here. But the cool thing I like to show you is the fact that it does have a proper spare. No inflation kit or anything like that. You have everything you need to replace a tire right there on the side of the road in case you need it. Your taillight openings are actually all located on both right and left side, or left and right. I've got my rights and left mixed up, but that's pretty cool because you don't have to remove the entire trim piece just to have access to that in case something happens over time. And then it may not look like there's any way to open up the second row compartment, but there's little levers right here which you can manually pull and it will automatically unlock the seats. And then you can push the long item you're trying to fit in here. It will automatically push down the seats because we just unlocked them back here. So if we go to the side, you will see that the seats were unlocked and then it's a full opening, just like so. But that's your trunk right there. Another cool thing I like to show you about this car is the gas cap itself is lockable. You see, if we lock the car, this won't open. Even if you unlock the car, it still won't open. It's one of these where you have to pull a lever on the bottom of the driver's seat for both the trunk or your gas cap. And then the gas capacity on this car is about 12.4 gallons. Now, as for the key fob, this is how the key fob look like. It's one of these modern day Kias. I kind of like it because the keys are in the sides right here. That's a cool feature I like, because if you have this in your back pocket, you're not going to forcefully like press on anything in case you're sitting down on it. But here you have unlock, lock, and it even has light feedback here. It does feature a remote start. And you have your panic as well as the long hold to open up your cargo compartment, your basically trunk. But if you don't like to carry the key fob, this vehicle does support the Kia digital app, which allows your smartphone to be paired to this car, which will give you access to not only your vehicle, but will also allow you to share a digital key with friends and family, anybody you wish to have temporary or permanently access to your car in case you're sharing it with your spouse. But enough about that. And then, yes, in case you were wondering, this vehicle does feature the automatic roll down windows in case the interior is too hot. But it only rolls down both driver and passenger side, and it doesn't even touch the sunroof, unfortunately. But it does have that ability, which you could disable on the instrument cluster in the main display if you like, under the vehicle settings. But inside here, let's raise this up. But now going inside here, you'll see that the quality and the material, the theme of this car looks absolutely amazing for a budget entry car. And in the back, unlike some other entry-level vehicles or economy price vehicle, you do have proper air vents back here for your rear passengers, 2 USB-Cs, a little storage compartment, a little net right here on the passenger side, some deep cup holders, additional cup holders right here on the door, as well as a sauce compartment. Just however, this car does have ambient lighting, as you see in the front. Unfortunately, it doesn't continue in the back. That's where some cost saving had to be taking place, but honestly, the material and the quality of the interior still continues in the back, so I really don't have any complaints there. And then for your center arm, you do have a center armrest right here, which will give you access to 2 additional full-size cup holders where I can rest my arm. And I'm 5'8", and I have about 4.5 of headspace back here, and a nice little backrest as well. Now the driving position, I left it where I last left it when I was driving. I didn't change that, and if you look down, I still have a good amount of leg space. If I need a stretch, I can always just put my feet underneath the driver's seat and give myself more additional leg space like that. So it's pretty roomy, and it's not bad for, again, for a $31,000 vehicle in general. But now let's go into the driver's side. And this car does have easy entry too, where the seat will recline back to give you more easy accessible ability to get in and out of the car. So here we are inside the Kia. This does feature the new Kia design steering wheel, as you see right here. You see the Kia logo is a little bit onto the right. From my understanding, they're doing this on their newer models now. This one has it. Your drive mode is actually located on the steering wheel, which actually is quick access to sport mode. I kind of like that. You don't have to fiddle between any buttons over here or fiddle with any screen tabs just to have access to your sport mode. Is just a press right here, which is really quick. Your advanced smart driving assist is located here. Your media control is all located here. This car does have pedals, as this car does have an 8-speed automatic transmission with manual pedals. And speaking of manual pedals, you do have high premium aluminum pedals for both your acceleration and brake pedal, as well as your dead pedal right here. But let's go ahead and quickly turn on the car. As you see right here, push to start's located right here. Dash does this cool Tron-like animation. And here you see your climate control right here, which is ironically covered and blocked from the steering wheel. I don't know if you can see that. So it does require some reachability to actually like toggle between the different AC settings. But below here you do have your USB-C and the ability to switch from USB-C to charge to data and charge or charge only. And here your additional port for a USB-C. This is a wireless charging pad right here. You can rest your phone, which will be indicated right there. And if you push here, you have access to a 12-volt outlet. Cup holders are big and cool because if you don't need cup holders, you just need maximum storage. You can just fill them up like so, give yourself additional storage capacity, or press this button and we'll reveal additional cup holders. And this one's really big. You can fit those massive cups in here if you want. And then behind here is a decently sized storage compartment for your center armrest. And you do have your auto hold as well as your quick access to your 360 camera, which actually is high resolution. As you can see right here, you have really high resolution 360 cameras all around this vehicle, and you do have the ability to actually like rotate around, something you expect to find like on a Mercedes, a Bentley, or those very expensive like luxury cars. This car has it with a lot of like additional settings you could adjust for your 360 camera, which is quite nice. And then you do have full RGB amber lights, as I was previously telling you, for just the driver's side, unfortunately not the back, as I previously stated. And you do have both ventilated as well as heated seats for both driver and passenger side, and 2 memory seat options. And like every good Kia, if you select your window switch to the right and then you put the car in reverse, it will automatically fold down your rear view mirror so you can see the lines better when you're backing up. It only works if you have that selected to the right side, so that's a cool little hidden feature about Kias. Now this car does have both wireless CarPlay as well as Android Auto, but you do have the traditional Kia menu, which gives you access to a bunch of these widgets like weather, voice memos, sports, valet mode, vehicle diagnostic, and if you long hold, you have the ability to rearrange them to your personal preference. If you slide up like this will give you quick access to your like control center, so you can adjust the navigation volume or turn off the display, even adjust the display brightness from here as well. And if you long hold, you can also rearrange these too. And by tap and edit, you can also continue adding more stuff if you want to customize like your vehicle hotspot and such. So you can add more to the control center basically. And then if you notice right here, you do have access to your climate fan speed, so you don't have to rely on the screen at all times. Those are still physical, including the different modes, as you see. We're just toggling between the different modes, so you don't have to physically touch on this weird screen that's blocked by the steering wheel, which is quite nice. You can technically manually control everything from here from physical buttons, which don't get in the way at all. And then over here you do have a decently large size glove box. Your air vents are all located right here, which are very stealthily, and they do provide a lot of airflow. No heads-up display, unfortunately. And your mirror is not a digital mirror, just a standard mirror, which most people do like. Now, if we open up the sunroof right here, this is what I mean. It's a normal size glass roof, nothing crazy out of the ordinary. And if we try opening it all the way to the very back, it does open up pretty big, which is quite nice. And then the rear windows, they're not automatic. You have to manually hold, but they do go down all the way. So your rear passengers have the capability to rest their arm outside if they like to. Now on the steering wheel, there is a star for both this part as well as the center part right here, which gives you access to the favorite button. By long holding, you can program it to do additional stuff like launch maps, enter quiet mode, which will disable all the speakers except for the driver's side, phone projection, phone, and etc. And here you can also switch between the steering wheel favorite button too, and you have these other settings you can toggle between. Now both of these displays are actually high resolution displays, as you saw earlier with the display animation and stuff. If I open up CarPlay, you'll see how clear the resolution is on this display. It's a 12.3 on both this display as well as the instrument cluster, which is quite nice. And the instrument cluster, you have a couple of different themes to choose from as well from here that you'll have access to if you go into your vehicle settings and tap cluster and then cluster themes. And this is where you can switch between this one or a circular one. Everything else would just be different color layouts on the different modes you're using. So like circle one, if we select like style C, which will be our sport mode, we have like an aggressive circular vibe, I guess, going on. And of course you can link it to drive mode instead, which drive mode, again, you only have access to normal and sport. So with that said, let's go ahead and take this vehicle out for a drive. All right, driving the K4, and I gotta admit, for a front wheel drive car, it doesn't really feel so much like it's a front wheel drive car unless you were making a sharp turn and then flooring it. Then that's when you notice like the torque feel, the torque steer I mean. But other unique features that this car has is whenever you use your turn signals, it will actually show your blind spot right here on the dash. So it still has that. This is not anything new or anything like that. Kia has been using that on some of their latest models recently for the past 3 years, I believe. But to this very day, I still find this to be a practical, useful feature. But you still have your traditional blind spot monitoring system on your mirrors, but this is a much better blind spot when you can actually visually see it without having to turn your head. Although I still catch myself turning my head most of the time. It's not at all a bad habit to have anyways, but this is convenient, especially when it comes to merging on the freeway. But now let's go ahead and do a quick 0 to 60. So again, 0 to 60 is around 7 seconds for this car, which for my experience is not bad. It still has a good amount of passing power if you absolutely have to pass something, but it's not a Corvette. You won't be able to pass everything. So here we go at a complete stop, back roads, and floor it. There we go. A little bit of wheel slippage. Traction control did engage, and now we're 60 on these back roads. So it does have a lot of torque, enough torque to free up the front wheels, and traction control engages. So it is a fun car if you want something that could quickly just lose traction, I guess, for a little bit. So it does have that. The turbo definitely does come in handy in those types of situations. But it's tuned to be an economy car, not a sport vehicle, even though this does have the GT line. And then as for handling, although this is a front-wheel drive car, it actually does take turns comfortably when you need to. Like these twisties right here, I'm able to, yeah, I have to brake, but it's able to handle it just fine without any aggressive body roll. I like that. It's a sedan. That's pretty good. It's able to handle turns really well. It can be a fun car to drive. It's one of those vehicles. It's fun to drive slow cars, fast type of things. And the interior is pretty quiet too. I have the AC running. These roads are bumpy. You could hear a little bit of the road noise, but not as bad. We're traveling at 55 miles per hour. On the highway, I have guests in the back seats. I'm able to hear them just fine, as we're not too far apart from each other or too close. Overall visibility, I'm able to see all my blind spots just fine. These side view mirrors are pretty big for this size car, which is quite nice. Now this does feature Kia advanced like autopilot system, which will allow the vehicle to be centered in its lane with its advanced lane keep assist. So for those long road trips, you can just enable it and the car will keep itself steady, maintain a gap, and follow the speed limits. But even in these local back roads right here, so long as there's a marker on both sides, I could activate it by simply activate cruise control right here, set the speed, and then control the distance. And then I could just now take my hands off the wheel, and it just keeps the vehicle in line in center and maintains a nice gap with the car in front. This works surprisingly really well. And it's not like Rivian or General Motors Blue Cruise, where it is only supported on selected highways that they previously scanned. This one, so long as there's a line on both sides, it's able to do that just fine. And this does also feature lane keep assist too, if you just want to have that disabled, but you still want lane keep assist to take over in case you're like drifting over. And there we have it. Those are all the cool things you need to know about the K4. I really do like this car. Again, there's a lot of bang for the buck. If you're looking for like your first time car, but you don't want to buy something used, you want to have manufacturer warranty with some reliability and all the modern day features you typically expect to find on something much more premium. Like the price tag on this thing was shocking. I like playing like the guessing game when I first get my press cars. And I originally thought this car was priced around $41,000. I was shocked to find out this is only $31,000. And yeah, wireless CarPlay, those displays that it has, it's high resolution, quality of material, shocking for the price tag. What an incredible value car. But there you guys have it. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this car? If you'd like to see another great value car, maybe the Lincoln Nautilus will be the next vehicle to definitely check out. It's a bit more expensive. It's an SUV, it's a mid-size SUV, but compared to everything else available in the market, you get a bargain for that car over there. Highlight everything over there if you want something a little bit bigger. Thank you so much for watching.